Hey guys, welcome back to this channel. So today's video is all about what to look for if you bought a second-hand iPhone, and especially the iPhone XS Max, because I do have the XS Max and I've experienced this phone for about a year and a half, and I know exactly how this iPhone looks like when it just came out of Apple and how it will look like if you buy it secondhand. So when you go that route, there are like two options. The first option is you go for a refurbished one, and nowadays they call it renewed. I'm not sure why they switched from refurbished to renewed. I guess that's because refurbished has a bad annotation on it. And that's a second option, you can just buy a second-hand iPhone from your friend or a family member, or maybe eBay or something. Like, it's not refurbished. It's just used for about a year and the owner is selling that iPhone to you. And that's what this video is all about. So without further ado, let's jump straight into it. So let's start with the refurbished iPhone. Let's say you want to buy a refurbished iPhone XS Max. So there are some things that you need to look for before buying that iPhone. And the first thing is obviously the battery health. A lot of companies promise that their iPhone is refurbished and they've changed everything inside the iPhone, including the battery. But you're not sure about it. What to do? Obviously, you go to your settings, you go to your battery, and you check the battery health. So like this one has an 89%, which means this one is used for about a year and a half. And I've used it like excessively. And even then, the percentage is down to 89%. So I highly recommend you not to go for that iPhone if the battery health is just 89%. That means that the previous owner or owners have used that iPhone a lot. And from 89% to 70% or maybe 60%, you don't know how fast that goes. Maybe from the 100% to 89%, that goes slowly. It takes like 2 years before it gets to 89%. But you don't know what time range it needs to get to 50% maybe. And if your capacity, if your battery health is at 50%, I can guarantee you that your battery will not last for long. In about 2 or 3 hours, your battery will die immediately. So just check that out. Make sure that the battery health is like on 99% or maybe even 100%. That's when you know that the battery is changed. There's also something else that you need to look for. Obviously, those lints that get stuck in the charge port or the speakers. That's definitely something to look at. If that's the case on a refurbished iPhone, that means that they haven't cleaned it on the inside. So then you should ask yourself, did they even open the iPhone? Because that's another thing. To open an iPhone XS Max, it costs you. It's not easy to open this iPhone. The back of the iPhone is glued. It's like glued into each other. You need to heat it up. You need to pull the back out of it. And the same goes for the front screen. So it's not easy to get the inside of this iPhone out of it. And companies will go for the easiest method to make it look refurbished. So if the iPhone has a lot of dust, it's not cleaned, that's another sign that your iPhone or that iPhone is maybe not opened up to replace the inside components in it. So that's another thing to look at if you have a refurbished iPhone. Furthermore, obviously you need to check if that iPhone's not stolen. Very easy to do. Just go to General and check About. Go to your email number. And there are a lot of websites that you can check out. If you just copy this email number and paste it in the search bar of that website can tell you if that iPhone is stolen or not. But I need to say most companies are not going to burn their fingers on it. So they will make sure for you if that phone is stolen or not. And if it's stolen, you will not even get to see it. That's the reality. But just check it. You never know. And you just need to make sure that everything is okay with that iPhone. There's another thing that you need to look at when buying a used or a refurbished iPhone is if you will get it with any warranty. Because yeah, refurbished or not, they can promise you all kind of things, but when you get your phone and when you walk home and you're surfing on it or using it, you'll find out that the camera has a glare, or maybe the speakers are not right. You need to make sure that you have the possibility to bring that iPhone back and get a new one. You need to have a warranty, and most companies will give you like a 3 months warranty or so. So make sure that that's also is covered. Furthermore, check for hardware damages. Obviously, it shouldn't have a lot of scratches. Refurbished iPhone goes in like 3 levels. The first level is like a brand new iPhone. You don't see any scratches, any dents. And the lowest level is that you need to accept that your iPhone has some scratches and dents. And that's also something that the company needs to be transparent about at the beginning. So they need to tell you what level phone you're buying. So if you are buying a premium level refurbished iPhone, then you shouldn't see any scratches, any dents whatsoever, which means that those sites are collecting scratches very easily. Just check those sites thoroughly. I don't have any scratches because I use this iPhone with a case a lot of times, so you will not find any scratches, but just check that out because you will throw a lot of money for this piece of device, which is a good investment. I mean, eventually you will have a good iPhone, but you need to do your homework because spending a lot of money on a device means that you need to get any value out of it. So make sure that you check those things out, and make sure that your iPhone is completely without scratches, without damages. The battery health needs to be good. The camera needs to be good. It shouldn't be a replaced camera. How do you check it? Just check out the camera. Sometimes it has this glare on it, but if you just clean the camera out like I'm doing right here, it should function as new. There shouldn't be any delay in the camera, so if things are not moving correctly, that's also a sign that you shouldn't buy that iPhone. And that's actually it for the refurbished options. So if you go for a refurbished iPhone, just check those advices I've just talked about, and you're good to go eventually. Because if you go home with a warranty, you can always check that iPhone home. And if you find something out when you're home, when you're using your iPhone for like 2 or a week or 2 weeks, that's when those things will pop up. If those things will pop up, make sure to contact the company immediately and bring that iPhone back, because you need to get a good iPhone, a good functioned iPhone for the money that you're paying for. There's another option that you can go for when buying a second-hand iPhone, and that's not buying it refurbished, but buying it from a friend or somewhere on a marketplace on the internet. And there are some things that you look for. Besides all the things that I've just spoke about in the previous couple of minutes of this video, there's another thing that you need to look at. The iPhone XS Max in particular has a very fragile back. If this thing breaks, and it happened to me, it's a pain to replace this back. But sometimes they can replace that back, whether going to Apple and getting an original back, or ordering a back on AliExpress or somewhere and do it themselves. How to know if that back is replaced? Well, most not original backs will have this rosé glare on it. If that's the case, then you know for sure that that back is replaced with a non-original one. So make sure to check that out. If it has this rosé glare on it, then you know for sure that that back is not coming originally from Apple itself. So that's something to look at. Furthermore, if it's done by a non-professional, then sometimes the glue pops off the sides of the iPhone like this one. I'm not a professional. I've removed a broken back of this iPhone and put a not original one. So this is a not original back on it. And as you see, I'm not sure if the camera, yeah, it's visible. I think so. And as you see, the glue is popping out of the sides of this iPhone. So that's something also to look at. If it's done by a non-professional, sometimes they do some things messy and that glue will just pop up out of the back of the iPhone. And then you know for sure, I can guarantee you that they've changed that back with a non-original one. Because the original backs are only available at Apple or Apple certified repair shops. So if that's not the case, then you know that that back is replaced. And you shouldn't even buy that iPhone. Why? Because if they replace that back themselves, then chances are that the speakers will not work that great because the quality of the speakers will go down. Sometimes the camera will have problems and you may not see those problems immediately when buying that iPhone, but once you go home and you want to film something or make a picture out of something, you will notice that there's something weird with that camera. And that's actually it. You don't want to have a replaced back by a non-certified repair shop. So make sure to check that out. Also, for this option, if you buy your iPhone secondhand, check if there are scratches, dents, because if that's the case, maybe you can just negotiate about the price of that iPhone. You can say, hey, I see a lot of scratches, you haven't promised me, or you didn't say anything about those scratches on the internet, so maybe we can talk about that price. If they refuse, then just keep your money in your pocket, just go for another option. There are a lot of iPhone XS Max on the market, and just feel for yourself if it's a right choice or not. So I hope I gave you some guidelines with this video when buying a second-hand iPhone. If you have any questions, just reach out. I'll answer your question to my best knowledge. If you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. It helps me a lot. Thank you guys for subscribing. I see you guys. I read your comments. Thank you so much. I hope I'm being honest in my comments. I hope I gave you the best advice I have about Apple products or tech products. If I made mistakes like the previous one, I've made a mistake about the iPhone XS Max, me saying that this iPhone comes in 128 gigabyte. That's not the case, guys. I'm sorry for that mistake. This iPhone doesn't have a 128 gigabyte version. It just comes with a 64 gigabyte and a 256 gigabyte. So that was my mistake, and I apologize for that. I make sure that I've done my homework good before making any videos in the future. Subscribe to my channel one more time, leave a big thumbs up for this video, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.